What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Phaithful Phanatics podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Davis, joined by my guys, Matt McGinty, George Ryder, Matt Szymanski. On today's show, we're going to be discussing the Eagles' atrocity on Sunday afternoon against the Cleveland Browns, a preview of the Seattle Seahawks-Eagles Monday night game, a possibility of a quarterback change, and then we're going to get into a little bit more of a positive note in the Philadelphia 76ers and all the moves and draft moves they made in this week. So with that being said, boys, it's not a victory Friday now. Sorry, I had to delay the show. But we haven't had a victory show in quite some time, it feels like. So how are we doing?
I hope we have another one. I really don't.
George, how we feeling, buddy?
I mean, not good. If we're talking about the Eagles specifically, not good. But if you want to move the conversation to the Sixers, and we might get a little more happy.
Yeah, the season's really unbalanced. All right, so let's dive right into the Eagles versus the Browns. The Eagles fall to the Cleveland Browns on Sunday afternoon in a monsoon, it seemed like. Carson Wentz was 21 of 35 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions yet again. So, guys, let's just discuss his play. That's really it. We know they suck. We know all from top to bottom, management, play calling, players, all 3 phases of the game. They're a bad football team. But what it really boils down to is the play calling of the head coach and the play of your franchise quarterback. So let's start with Carson Wentz. Ginn, I'll throw it to you first. How was number 11 on Sunday afternoon, in your opinion? Like, I know in a lot of people's eyes he carries most, if not all, of the blame. What did you feel from 11 on Sunday?
Yeah, he definitely wasn't good enough, and you saw that, obviously. The pick six, I still don't believe he should hold all the blame for that. They say he missed Rager, but like a lot of people broke that down and said like that's not as easy as a throw as you think it was. And the dude came untouched into his backfield. Richard Rodgers kind of just stared at him, and it resulted in a pick six. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not defending him. He wasn't good enough again. But like you said, I feel like a lot of blame is being put on him that shouldn't be put on him, which is at this point an every week thing. But if I had to grade it, I'd give him a C- probably.
I like that. Kind of where I'm at. Snap.
What do you want me to say, dude?
Here's what I'll throw to you. What would you grade the performance of number 11 on Sunday?
Number 11 was like a D. Like, I get it. Like, that pick six in the beginning of the game was, like, bad. And it may not have been totally his fault, but, like, did you really need to put all that air on the ball for a fucking pass to your running back right there? Like, you threw it, like, fucking 30 feet in the air.
I don't think he was intending to.
Got hit from.
I think he was coming, and as he got hit, because he got hit from behind, the ball kind of skyrocketed.
There goes him holding on to the ball again. Like, either way you look at it, you can find a reason why it was just not a smart, like, everything. He's just regressing every week, and at this point, like, when I was first watching the game, like I told you guys, I only watched like the first and a little bit of the second because I had to go do some shit. Then I started listening on the radio, and like I heard where they were at, and I wasn't even shocked. And it was just kind of like, all right, dude, like whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's the personnel, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's this, that, and the third, whatever's going on, the quarterback is regressing. He's leading the league in interceptions. It is just not looking good. If there was, I know a lot of people don't like hearing this. If there was a week to throw in Hurts, it was this week. I get the controversy. You don't want the controversy. So even if you want to stay away from that, I get that. But like, I'm just getting to the point, man, where it's like I'm all out on this team. Like, the fact that the Redskins won last night and took the division lead and we jumped to 8 in the draft was like probably the best news I've heard about the Eagles all year. And that's where I'm at.
George, how would you grade the performance of Carson Wentz?
I would give him a D+, and I don't think, like, some positives. I don't think he missed a lot of open guys. Like, I don't like at all. I think he held onto the ball a little too long. I think that safety was absolutely atrocious. Like, that's just a rookie mistake right there. You don't hold onto the ball that long. You know to throw it away at that point. I do think the pick six wasn't really as much of his fault as people are saying. I think him getting hit from behind really doesn't help. But he didn't get the job done. And he, that garbage time touchdown at the end makes it look a little better, but it wasn't. The 2 turnovers were just awful. he's got to be better. And like we say this every single week, but he has to be better. It's getting to a point where I hate to say it, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jalen Hurts right now, only because I want to see how big of a problem the quarterback position actually is. Like, how big of it, like, is it actually on Carson? Is it actually on everybody around him? Like, I have no answers for what's going on right now. Like, it's very frustrating. It's every single week we go into it, and it's just like, it sucks. Like, watching it sucks. The emotions are different now. It's like, you see that safety, and like, we used to probably flip the fuck out, and we see that Baker fumble that wasn't called a fumble, and we would flip the fuck out. And now it's just like, all right, like then whatever. Like, this just fucking sucks. Like, everything right now is just absolutely terrible. Like, it's just not fun to watch. And I hate everything about all this, everything, because every single week it's about Carson Wentz, when this whole team fucking sucks. Like, it from top to bottom. So yeah, D+.
Oh, we're in for an interesting show. But Dives, my guy Dives over here, he said, but I was told the Eagles are a quarterback factory.
Yeah,
one of the worst right up there with the new norm. He also said if Doug Peterson was a Thanksgiving dish,
easy cranberry sauce.
Yeah, cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Read my mind.
Like, the only thing he can be.
Okay.
Out the can too. Like,
man. Who the hell knows?
Like, great value brand.
You know what he is? If you guys are on Twitter a lot, he's that tweet of the lady saying, "Oh, I dropped the lasagna and it was like spaghetti with peas and carrots. Like, it's not even lasagna." That's what he fucking is.
And then Mark Bernstein says, "How badly do you feel both Doug and Carson miss Frank Reich?" That is a great point.
I feel like Doug doesn't miss him. Because he would be man enough to admit he needs an offensive coordinator.
Doug definitely misses him only because it makes
Doug
him look
doesn't
look
miss
so
him
much
in
better.
terms of how that Doug wants it back, but Doug deeply misses him in that he needs his ass to be an effective head coach in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, Carson wish he could get on a fucking bus right now and go to Indianapolis. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right. So let me.
If he had one wish in the world, it would be to be at Colt right now. I'll tell you that.
I'm out on the birds. No time for such crap. Mark, I'm with you. I'm with you. Except I have a sickness as an Eagles fan, and I can't keep myself.
And I think they're going to win this week against Seattle.
I can't keep myself from watching the flop they're going to put out.
If they win this week, I swear to God, I'll be out even more. I'll be out even more if they win this week. I won't be drawn in. You won't do it to me.
I'm going to get a train rolling.
Fuck us out. If they fuck us out of a top 10 draft pick because they want to go ahead and win like 3 random games the rest of the season, I'm going to be pissed off.
If we make the playoffs,
it should not be in the playoffs. Make it happen.
You know what 3 random games do? Win the division.
Exactly. I don't want that. It's different if you're 8-8 and look decent. This team is garbage. I'd rather a top 10 pick than a first round bounce for no reason.
Okay. So here's where I'm at. And believe it or not, I actually had to argue with random people at a bar on Wednesday night about.
You arguing about the Eagles? Who would have thought that?
About this very topic. Well, again, was he good enough? 100% not. And he does deserve blame, and he gets a lot of blame. And I'm not deflecting it. I'm not saying it's not his fault. He needs to be better.
Same story every week.
But when I hear that's fine. That's fine. And I'm going to do the same thing.
This is becoming a weekly cycle.
I'm going to do the same thing. Do. Yeah, but his play caller dropped him back 41 times in a monsoon. 41 times with that offensive line when Miles Sanders and Boston Scott are chewing up that Cleveland run defense. At one point, it was 102 rushing yards, Eagles, to like 20 rushing yards, Cleveland. The script was completely reversed. No, we never thought that was going to be the case. Miles Sanders had 14 carries for 62 yards in the first half. He got 2 carries in the second half. He told us last week when he was asked a question about rolling Carson Wentz out of the pocket because he's more effective doing that, he was going to do that. He did it one time. Carson Wentz, or did it twice, but the first time was Carson's doing on the first play of the game, your 22-yard completion on the first play of the game. He did it another time, rolled out 8-yard completion for a first down to Travis Fulgham. That is the only times you saw Carson Wentz get out of the pocket. That is atrocious. So let me break down the 2 interceptions. Look, if you think he held on to the ball too long, we watched a different game because he saw his first read. He didn't want to do it because, as a lot of people say, I know to the blind eye, it's there's Jalen Reagor wide open, but it's almost like a wheel route. So if he throws that ball, the safety's dipping down. So yeah, he missed him. He had to throw it back shoulder. He should have done that. Not saying he shouldn't have, but he didn't. He didn't like the read. And if he would have thrown an interception because he went with that read, everyone would have been freaking out. So what's he do? He turns to his running back to drop it off. Good job, Carson. Use your check down like we always bitch at you to do. Oh, Richard Rodgers doesn't block the blitzing safety. He comes clean, hits him in the back, ball's going the other way. That's interception number 1. So does he get a little bit of blame? Yes, because he should have just thrown it back shoulder to Jalen Reagor. Second interception. I know, Snap, you tweeted me, and you're right. You shouldn't be looking Alshon Jeffrey's way late in the game because he's old. But that's coaching. Alshon Jeffrey shouldn't be on the field at that point, okay? Secondly, Alshon Jeffrey hurts my brain watching that play. Dude, he jumped 9 years too early. I have no idea what he was doing. And everyone, Carson overthrew him. Bro, just watch the game, dude. He jumped 18
Alshon jumped about 2 inches about 5 seconds early.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what he was doing. So those are the interceptions. Then there was another play that is in the back of my mind of it looks like Carson throws the ball 8 feet behind Greg Ward to a diving corner of safety that was sitting in the zone, and he dropped an interception, right? And to the blind eye and to the, the person that just sits there and watches the game, that looks like an awful pass. Well, here's the thing. Carson's got pressure coming right into his face. A good wide receiver knows when there's a zone and you find the soft spot in the zone, you sit down in that soft spot because that's where the ball's going to be. These Eagles wide receivers are coached so robotically. It's like they have to get from point A to point B and they don't stop. So what does Greg Ward do? Instead of sitting down in the soft zone for probably a 15-yard completion, he keeps running where Carson's delivering the ball in the soft spot of the zone with pressure in his nose. And it looks like it's 8 feet behind him. So, yeah, dude, has he been good enough? No. But when you have wide receivers that can't get any sort of separation, you have an offensive line that can't block. And are some of the sacks on him? 100% he holds on to the ball too long. But why is that? That's because he looks at what's around him and he's trying to play hero ball. And whether it's right or wrong, and we say we don't want him to do it every week, he has to do it. Because if he doesn't try to do it, we have 0% chance of winning. And you saw that against the Giants 2 weeks ago. He didn't play hero ball that week. He didn't try to. He didn't take any unnecessary sacks. He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't do anything like that. And they still lost the game to a bad football team.
I got a question. Do you think he's been the biggest problem this year for the Eagles?
No!
What? He's like number 34.
I've seen it. That's all I've seen on Twitter.
Yes, and that's my point. George, we talk
the biggest problem on the Philadelphia Eagles is coaching staff.
Yes, and that is my thing. And why everyone wants him to be the first domino to fall, and for the quarterback change to be number 1. Hand over the playbook, Doug, because you don't got it anymore. Dude, we prep for the show on Wednesday before I had to postpone it. My list of complaints for Doug Peterson is 3 pages long, it seems like.
Don't even need to touch it.
No, and I don't think I should have to.
I don't even want you to stress about it no more. I'm like getting worried your hair's gonna turn gray every week because you're like,
I got gray, bro. I got gray.
At the end of the day, we just know. I had one comparison I said before the show. We know what this team is. They're like the 2011 Phillies. This team needs to be broken up and trade all your old vets that have value for assets this offseason. That's what needs to be done. It's done.
I'm still ready for the playoff run.
Okay. If they make the playoffs, I might not watch them.
No, if we can make the playoffs, you're going to make the playoffs. You want a home playoff match?
No.
It's good for the young guys. It's good for Carson Wentz. Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yes,
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, what's good for Carson Wentz?
Good
Losing in the first round. You know you ain't doing shit. They lost to the Giants, dog. They lost to the Giants.
Good. I know
we're not good. They make any noise. I don't want to watch a playoff game. Say they win the first round. They go into the Super Bowl? No. They gonna win even the NFC? No. So don't make the playoffs. Get a top 10 draft pick because clearly you can't draft at the end of the first round. So let's make it real freaking easy for you guys in management and give you a no-miss top 10 draft pick. Go get a guy that's on good salary for the next 3-4 years that you know is going to be a hit. Right now, most mock drafts have us getting the linebacker Micah Parsons from Penn State, one of the biggest issues on the team. Go get a top 10 draft pick. Start rebuilding a young core around your quarterback who absolutely needs it, and stop worrying and stop thinking that there's this dream that the guys from the Super Bowl team are going to be good enough moving forward to win you another Super Bowl or win you playoff games. It's not. It's almost like a dumb theory. These guys are done. They're washed. Trade what you have for good draft picks moving forward. Rebuild the team. Carson's not old. Carson's not a 35-year-old quarterback you need to make a push for to try to get in the playoffs. He's a young guy. Fix the team.
Micah Parsons.
Let me rebuttal this a little bit. Let me rebuttal this a little bit, but I agree with you to a point. I want them to make the playoffs because to me, when the division's like this, I agree with George. It's good for Carson Wentz. It's good for Jalen Reagor. It's good for Miles Sanders to have that experience, no matter what it is. You're also doing a disservice to your fan base if the division is right here and you just start tanking because
I guarantee you 80% of the fan base does not want to make the playoffs.
No, that's not true. But I agree with you on the point that if they do make the playoffs with 5 or 6 wins, right, somehow, 6 wins, I don't want winning the NFC East to mask the issues that Jeffrey Lurie needs to take care of this offseason.
But that's what it's going to do.
No, I don't think.
I don't know if it is.
I don't think it would.
No, because because Jeffrey Lurie's all in on this coach right now. He's been the last 3 years. I don't know if he is right now, but say they win 7 games this year. Somehow they pull off 7 wins. That is just going to mask like, hey, Doug still managed to do it. We got to give him some credit. We don't need an offensive coordinator. He was plagued by injuries this year and stuff didn't work out. And, if everything worked out right, you know what? We're probably a 10-win team. No, that's not the case. This team is getting old. You need to just start putting better players around. Like, yes, is it a discredit to Wentz and the other young guys to make the playoffs? Yes, but you know what it's a discredit to if you make the playoffs? The actual team moving forward. This isn't about winning 1 or winning 2 Super Bowls. Like, everyone when we won the first one was all about, this is a dynasty now. We want to win championships over the next decade. Do you want to just win 1 and then go through mediocrity like the Sixers used to be back in like the early 2000s or the late 2000s when they're just scratching into the playoffs every year? No, I want a team that is built to win at a competitive level every year. And right now they're not. They're not. So just pull the plug. You're going to be the 08 Phillies all over again where you won 1. You had this fantasy that somehow after 4 years passed after winning the World Series, you can still get back there. No. You've seen what they did. Now they're in this shitty hole because they didn't move good veteran players that still add value for young talent to open up the cap. Like we're talking about how we're in this cap debt right now. Why not trade guys with a ton of money on the books? Like if we don't make the playoffs this year, I would be open to moving a guy like Fletcher Cox if it was a 2nd-round pick involved or a 1st-round pick involved. I would absolutely do that. Does it decrease your chances of winning next year? Yeah, but guess what you're going to get? You're going to get another shot at getting a good young player who's going to be cheap on the books that can work and move forward with Carson for the rest of his career. These guys were leftovers from the teams prior when Wentz came into the picture. Like these were guys that came back. Some of them were in the Andy Reid era. We don't need them now. Like it's football. These guys don't have 15-year careers. They have 8-year careers. And a lot of these guys are coming up on that number where it's like Lane Johnson's ankle collapsed. I've never even heard of that injury. Are you kidding me? The dude's ankle collapsed. Like these are the issues that are going to start happening every year if you don't just pull the plug and grow some balls to just move on for the future. You got to move on for the future. The future is more important than right now and building some confidence up. I don't want to see a 6-win team in the playoffs, home field or not. It's not even like a real season right now. Home field doesn't mean anything because what are they going to bump in cheering from sound speakers? Like, what? Is that even home field advantage? No, it's just a neutral playing site. It just doesn't make sense to me to keep this going. It doesn't. feel like Dylan. I'm like ranting really hard about the Birds right now.
I have no faith. This team, yeah, you're right, it needs to be blown up. But it needs to be blown up, like, structurally. Like, Howie Roseman has built, like, the second highest, like, cap team with one of the oldest rosters ever, like, constructed right now.
But that's to my point. So
they keep funneling money into the defensive line. Like, they paid Javon Hargrave all this money to be one of the highest paid nose tackles in all of the NFL. Meanwhile, Robbie Anderson, like, I was told, we need more depth on the defensive line because that's how Jim Schwartz likes to run his defense. Clearly, it doesn't fucking work. Javon Hargrave has hardly produced this year, and Robbie Anderson, who's getting paid way less, is tearing it up in Carolina right now.
Exactly.
I'm sure we could use Robbie Anderson in our wide receiving core right now. Howie Roseman needs to go. Doug Peterson needs to relinquish his play calling duties. And Mark says here, do you think Jeffrey Lurie will take the play calling away from Doug? Will someone say enough is enough? No, because once he does that, like, what are you going to tell your head coach you can't call plays anymore?
That's when it gets petty. Like, that's when it's just going to get petty and the relationships are going to be burned. Like, yeah, you can go and sit down with Doug this offseason and say, I'm hiring an offensive coordinator, like Ginn said before the show. And if you don't like it, you're out. But at that point, you might as well just fire him because it's just going to lead to more bullshit internally. Like, there's going to be that pettiness to it because you're basically having to sit a grown-ass man down and tell him, I'm doing this. If you don't like it, get out. Like, it's almost like immature. Like, just do the right thing and just, yo, Doug, we appreciate you. You got a statue. We love you, man. But you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, you are not that good anymore. Like Frank Wright, it's just so clear that Frank Wright was the reason we won the Super Bowl on the offensive side of the ball. You can't say anything else to me because look at what he's doing in Indianapolis. They don't even have a decent quarter, like the shell of Phillip Rivers, and they are 10 times they're 10 times better than the Eagles.
Yep, I'm with you. Look, this really got out of hand. We're on this Browns review. But like the last thing I'll say about this week before we get to the Seahawks game is news that broke this morning that Jason Peters is finally being put back to right guard. And Mailata is stepping in at left tackle, and obviously we know Lane Johnson's down for the year at right tackle. So, here to go with the Jeffrey Lurie and Howie and Doug Peterson, who's calling the shots. Look, Doug's been very adamant in his pressers that he calls the shots, especially with the quarterback controversy. Like, he has the final say. He's made that very clear. He also said 3 days ago his left tackle going forward is Jason Peters, and now this morning all of a sudden there's a switch. Doug is not pulling the strings like he says he is. Doug is like he has no idea what's going on. He has no feel for the game, in game, out of game, nothing. I'm so over him. So, all right, let's move forward. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, let me throw – did you see him say that they look back on the 17-18 tape and they don't think Carson Wentz's issues are mechanical or worrisome at all?
That's all his issues are. They're issues little mechanical.
Like, he comes out every single week with worse comments than the week before. And that's another reason why everyone's –
I'll top one for you. How about was it the Giants game when he said that he felt he was in a rhythm play calling?
Yep.
He was in a rhythm. Not to mention he just throws his players under the bus and his quarterback under the bus.
What type of rhythm is that?
It was after the Giants game, I believe. He came out. They asked him about his play calling after, like, when the offense was so stale. And he said that he felt as though he was in a rhythm play calling. And I was like, really? That's interesting because I don't know what the fuck you went back and watched.
Me and him got a different view of rhythm. That's like drunk, middle-aged white man rhythm. Like, no, that ain't rhythm. Like, stop it.
No. All right, so let's get to the Seahawks game. Monday night, primetime. The Eagles are currently winless in the 1 o'clock slate of games this season, but they are undefeated in the primetime spot at home at the Link on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks and what was the runaway MVP of the league in Russell Wilson. So, George, I'll throw this to you first. What are the keys offensively for the Eagles to win? I know it's a long shot. I know no one really gives Eagles much of a chance here on Monday night, but what do they have to do offensively to be successful?
I know this is like an easy thing to say, but you got to run the ball more. And
that would be too easy, man. That would be pretty simple.
I mean, I feel like they rely on Wentz to throw the ball way too much, and we've seen that a lot. I feel like they don't allow Wentz to go outside the pocket enough, which is his strongest strength. Like that's what he likes to do. You got to get Sanders in his rhythm, like you did. You saw that first drive in the Browns game. Everything was going smooth until he fumbled at the 4. But I mean, it was also monsoon. You got to get Sanders going. That's your workhorse. That's your number one guy, right? So let's get him going. I don't like the 16 rushes for 70 yards when you could have 20 to 20, whatever. Like, we'll see what happens, but I think got to get Sanders. I think got to get Sanders going more, and it's going to be tough because I know this Seahawks defense hasn't been great all year, but the last 2 games they've looked a lot better than they have all year. So they are picking it up and they are looking better. This game is so worrisome. I don't know how they're 5-point favorites, but we'll see.
I love when Doug runs the ball down someone's throat on the first possession and then completely abandons it the next drive. But anyway, Gid, what do they have to do offensively to be successful on Monday night?
Yeah, no, I agree with George. Miles Sanders has touched the ball a lot. I think you have to put players in a position to succeed, like put Jalen Reagor into open space. You drafted a guy in the first round that his biggest strength is playing in open space.
No, Doug likes to call those plays off for Greg Ward.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Alshon Jeffrey can't be on the field. That's another key. But other than that, I don't see, if I'm being honest, I don't see a way that this goes well on Monday at all. Offensively, we might be able to score 20 points, but I don't see it.
If we only score 30 on this defense, and I know I shouldn't have like any sense of expectation for this team or offense, but if we don't score more than 20, we have a much bigger issue than I thought. Like, yeah, I'm not expecting to win this game, but like, you can't put the ball in the end zone 4 times against this team.
Dude,
I have zero confidence in this game. Like I want to hammer the Seahawks. Like,
whatever happened to the faithful Phanatics, George?
Dude,
I'm the biggest advocate usually, but this is just shaping up to be one of those games where I went to an Eagles game. It was the Dream Team Part 2 the year we played the Patriots. It was when they had Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez, and they just had so many. And I remember going to the game. I was like, oh no, we're gonna win. Oh no, we're gonna win. And we just got lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, I just see that all over again this week. I really do. I don't see how we even compete this week.
All right, let's fast forward because we're obviously a little lifeless here on the Eagles. So let's just get to game predictions and final thoughts on the Eagles-Seahawks game. Oh, and then we have a fun conversation we can get into about the quarter. No. Quarterback situation.
I think
that camp and some Seahawks players had some choice words. Whether or not Jalen Hurts should be starting on Monday night for the Philadelphia Eagles. So here's where I'm at. Do I expect the Eagles to win? Not at all. Will I be surprised if it's a blowout? Not at all. But this Eagles team, for whatever reason, plays down to their competition and they play up to their competition. Now that's coaching. I know that. But this Seahawks defense is bad, man. So I honestly think it's closer than a lot of people think. I think it's one of those, either we're down by 5 or 6, Carson gets the ball and can't do it, or we're down by 4, Seattle scores another touchdown and they win by 11 late in the fourth quarter. Like, I think it's a lot closer than it is, simply because the Eagles offense can move the ball on Monday night because the Seahawks defense is really bad. I don't expect the Eagles to have the game plan for Russell Wilson. If they can't stop Daniel Jones out of the pocket, I don't see any way they stop number 3 out of the pocket on Monday night. You could throw Darius Slay on DK Metcalf. You could throw Darius Slay on Tyler Lockett. Whatever one you don't have Darius Slay on, that opposing corner is going to get tortured on Monday night. So do I expect the Eagles defense to show up? Nope. I do expect number 11 to show up on Sunday night, though, because there's a lot of talk on this long week, on this 8-day break, or whether or not he should be the quarterback. After his head coach came out in a press conference and stuttered and was hesitant to name him the starting quarterback on Monday night.
Yeah, I don't understand this Jalen Hurts thing. I understand because he's the backup.
Let's get into it. Let's go into it again.
So what people don't understand with this Jalen Hurts thing is, one, when Jalen Hurts gets in the game, he hasn't even looked to throw the ball. So clearly he's showing absolutely no promise whatsoever in the pass game, in practice, and whatever he's doing. So that's one thing. And then the second is Carson Wentz has looked really bad this year. So if Jalen Hurts was actually an option, I believe it would have been done already. It'd be done and over with. So that's another thing. And then what people don't understand, so let's say this is how the season's shaping up to me, truthfully. We're going to lose these next 4 games because we're playing 4 very good teams. The last 2 weeks of the season, Jalen Hurts is going to come in, and we're going to win one of those games. And it's going to go on with, wow, Jalen Hurts looked really good. The read option, that worked. Wow. Oh, my God, Jalen Hurts.
The RPO.
And Carson Wentz is on the first bus out of here, and I'm not an Eagles fan anymore. So that's how it's shaping up. But I just don't get this. Like, when Jalen Hurts is in the game, are people not watching what's going on? He fumbles 86% of the snaps he touches. Like, I don't understand the drive for this kid. This kid was a project pick. So what, the project is done after 11 weeks of sitting on the bench?
11 weeks of a short season with no real offseason, in which the rest of the team stinks.
I don't think these fans realize, one, he's not that good. We probably took him too early, and we took him. And if he wins games, like 11's gone. It's plain and simple. If Jalen Hurts somehow comes in, and Jalen Hurts is not a franchise quarterback, I don't think he is. Carson Wentz has mechanical issues, and then if you look at Jalen Hurts, the mechanical issues are a list way longer than Carson Wentz's mechanical issues.
They're the same things, dude. He goes through his reads and progressions too long. He holds on to the ball too long. Those were all issues in college with him.
That's why people don't understand what Jalen Hurts could possibly do here, and it's been very subpar.
All right, so me and you are on the same page. The bottom half of the screen is probably a little different. So let me just make my point, and then I'll throw it to George and snap. George, I know what you're saying. You want to see if it's Doug. Who's right? Is it Doug? Is it Carson? But my issue with that is I won't be surprised if Doug caters the offense to Jalen Hurts' fit, and it looks better. Because he's not fitting it to Cart. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would fit Jalen Hurts. So here's what I want to break down for everyone. A, I'll tell you why he shouldn't come in, and I'll tell you B, what happens if he does. So A, Gin's point, he's not ready, guys. Like, he's not allowed to throw the ball. He's thrown 1 or 2 passes, and if you watch the 2 passes, it's been drop back, slant, or drop back. Basically, Jalen, if your first read's wide open, deliver the ball. If not, get the hell out of the pocket and run. Okay. He's not allowed to run the ball. He's not allowed to throw the ball because he's not showing anything. He's a project pick. He has the same mechanical and flaws that Carson Wentz that he had coming out of college. Secondly, to the blind eye, it's easy and negative. I mean, and it's easy narrative and lazy narrative for this fan base to point the finger at 11 because the team doesn't look good. Guys, there are holes on every aspect of this football team. They are not a good football team. So to think that Jalen Hurts is going to come in and fix those issues, I'm sorry, you're a moron. Quarterback 2, issue. Linebackers, issue. Defensive line shows up or doesn't show up. Offensive line, issue. Receivers getting open and creating separation, issue. Running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. I love Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has not been good catching the ball out of the backfield this year. Issue. And again, quarterback play has been issue. Play calling, issue. Scheme, issue. There's issues everywhere. So to think that a project pick second round rookie is going to come in with no feel for this offense because he's not getting any throughout the offseason or anything is asinine. Now let me tell you what happens when you do that. Everyone talks about the benching of Donovan McNabb when he was awful against the Baltimore Ravens years ago, and Kevin Cobb came in. And it kind of, just a wake-up call, right? There was no quarterback controversy in the city of Philadelphia in that season. There's a quarterback controversy right now in the city of Philadelphia that has been created by the Philadelphia Eagles organization. You made that pick. You just got the first controversy out of here, and you make a pick a year later to bring it back in. So that is 110% on them. But let me tell you why. The second Jalen Hurts comes in the game is the second Carson Wentz is no longer the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean that. I mean, because you can say all you want. Oh, no, just sit him down as a wake-up call. That's fine. Well, let me tell you something. We see it all the time with rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks that no one has any tape on, and they come in and light the world on fire and light the league on fire for a couple weeks, right? What happens if Jalen Hurts does that? You don't know that that's real. You don't know that that's the real Jalen. What if Jalen Hurts just comes in, they somehow beat Seattle on Monday night? Even if Jalen Hurts doesn't play well against Seattle, but the defense magically shows up and plays well against Russell Wilson, and we win the game 21 to 20. You think this fan base that hates Carson Wentz is going to want Carson Wentz back? No. You make the controversy way, way worse. The second you put in number 2 is the second number 11 is out of here, and I'm with Ginn. Is the second I'm out of here. Now, if he continues this for another weeks on weeks, and like I don't know, if I had a way to figure out it's not Doug, then I'd agree with you. But the franchise quarterback of this team should not be the first domino to fall. GM, play caller, head coach, one of those maybe should be the first domino to fall and bring in some help around this kid. Because let me say this. There are 2 components from 2017 season that's still here. One's gone. Frank Reich's gone. Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz are still here. Eagles won the Super Bowl, so it looks like Doug Peterson was a genius, right? Because he was the head coach, blah, blah, blah. But Carson Wentz was also the MVP of that league. So if that was really Doug's system and not Frank Reich's, and Doug Peterson is this offensive guru genius, why is Carson Wentz no longer a fit for Doug Peterson's system? It was Frank Reich's system. It was, and I'll remind you guys, was it or was it not Nick Foles that was struggling the first 2 or 3 weeks? He became the starter after Carson Wentz went down. You think Doug Peterson figured out that he needed to switch to the RPO and to switch his offense to cater to Nick Foles' strengths? Hell no. It was Frank Reich. And like Snap said earlier, Frank Reich is getting below average quarterback play or average quarterback play from an aging Phillip Rivers. And I know he has a great defense and a good run game and blah, blah, blah. They're 7-4. Okay? They're 7-4 and just put up over 30 points to beat the Green Bay Packers in overtime. It's not, look, I know it's easy to blame the quarterback. Not that simple.
Put Carson Wentz on the Colts. See what happens.
Right.
He's lighting the world.
He'd win MVP. He'd win MVP.
He's lighting the world on fire. Oh yeah, I don't think Jalen Hurts is good. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was good coming out of college. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was great in college. He finished top 3 for Heisman, but it was also the offense around him. You could see it in him that he's not going to be a good quarterback from the start. Like maybe in 2 years he'll be a pretty good starter. You don't know, but he doesn't look like a franchise guy. And I don't know. I still don't really understand why people think that Jalen Hurts is going to come in and take over the team and be our franchise quarterback.
They don't. It's because they don't like Carson Wentz.
And I still don't know why people don't like Carson Wentz, which I guess I do because it's been a frustrating year and it's very easy to blame the quarterback. Like it's the easiest thing to do. It's not Carson Wentz's fault this year. It really isn't. Has he been a big problem? Yeah, he has. Does he need to be better? Yeah, he does. Is this year and this shitty record his fault? No, it's not. Would bringing in Jalen Hurts cause 10 times more controversy than we have right now? Fuck yes. But I think if you bring in Jalen Hurts, he doesn't light the world on fire. He doesn't look that good. People can finally shut the fuck up. And we can see how Carson Wentz can respond. Say, let's fucking go. This is my team. This is not happening again.
But
let's get a kick in the ass. I know. Listen, I know. It's probably it's unrealistic that it'll work like that.
No, I would love for it to work like that. But the issue is Carson can want to do that all he wants. The second he comes back in, Doug's going to keep calling the shitty plays, like the shitty things he's calling.
No, that's If I miss the hell out of Frank Reich. If Carson Wentz is on the Colts right now, holy shit, that team Super Bowl contending, looking good as fuck. Carson Wentz is lighting the world on fire. Like that's just how it would be. That's just how it would be. Because
I want to break this down real quick. I've never seen a fan base turn on a franchise star player like this so quickly.
McNabb.
What? McNabb was here for years.
They crucified him. Eagles fans just like the crucify.
There's a reason.
I loved McNabb. Before Carson, McNabb was the best quarterback the Eagles ever had, in my opinion.
I still think he is, but just because of work.
But let me break this down, right? Past rookie year. Sophomore year is MVP of the league. Has a major ACL injury. Comes back too early from the ACL injury. Why? Because everyone's beloved fanboy Nick Foles wasn't getting the job done as a starting quarterback. So he comes back too early. He overcompensates. Plays through a fractured back, mind you, for like 2 weeks. So clearly he's not going to play well. So he has a down year in the third year when he comes back too early. Nick Foles comes back in. They make the playoffs, so on and so forth. Last year, with garbage cans and lawn chairs as wide receivers, he puts up similar numbers, QBR, passing yards, everything like that, touchdown to interception ratio, everything like that, to his MVP year. No one sees it because the team overall wasn't as good as that year, but he put up similar numbers, leads those garbage cans to the postseason, right? This year, he has played well against San Fran. He played great against the Giants. He's the only reason they won that game. And he played his ass off against number 1, number 2 defenses, combining for 58 points. If it wasn't for the defense giving up over 30 plus in both of those games, they probably win those games. So that's 4 games I just named. We've played 10, guys. So in 6 games, 6 bad games, 6 underperforming games where he just wasn't good enough, he's done. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, but are you kidding me?
Not to mention, we also won, 2 of those games where he underperformed?
Yes. Yeah, we won. Yeah. So, like, I don't get it, man. I don't – it's because it's the narrative and it fits, and when he doesn't look good, he's got to go. And I
just want to make one more point. One more point because we got to move on from this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
If the Eagles won the games against Baltimore and Pittsburgh in which Carson Wentz was more than good enough, beyond good enough, we would have been sitting at 5-2-1, and it would have been a totally different story, and Carson Wentz probably would have been beloved again. But since the defense lets up 936 points in back-to-back weeks, Carson Wentz gets the blame. This kid is – if I was him, I'd want to leave. He's just so mistreated.
Yeah.
But like you said, let's just move on.
All right, real quick. I need predictions. Win or loss on Monday night. I think we all know where we're going, but Snap, you start.
But, yeah. Going to the points, I think the main reason the fan base does want to see Jalen is kind of like what George said. You can kind of get a gauge on how bad the head coach is, because I feel like a lot of these fans do think Doug Peterson is the answer, and I'm at the point where I know it's not the answer. And also, I think people are just tired of seeing the play. You regardless if Carson's done good in certain games or not done good in certain games, people expect a level from him regardless of what's around him, because you've seen him be good his rookie year with a decent team. You saw last year him drag that injury-riddled team to the playoffs. So when you come into this season and he's leading the league in interceptions and he's having a terrible QBR, people just are tired of seeing Carson, man. That's just where it's at. Like, I think putting in Jalen is – is it the best move? No, but I think that's the main reason people are gunning for it. They're just tired of seeing what they're seeing. They want something fresh. Like George said, you can get a gauge on the coach, because then you can make it definitive if Jalen Hurts starts and he plays awful.
I don't think you can. You can't, because the head coach and the play caller will cater the offense to how Jalen Hurts plays, which he does not do for Carson Wentz.
But in that case, they're barely catering the offense to Wentz. So
that's my point.
Exactly. So if they cater the offense to Jalen Hurts and he's really not that good,
well then yeah.
You're gonna see that it's not Jalen Hurts is the answer, and it's not Doug Peterson is this great coach that can turn any quarterback into a winner, because that's what people think. They think that Doug Peterson is this coach that can bring a Nick Foles in and get shit done when he switches up his quarterbacks. So why not see what you have? Why not prove that both of them suck and just move forward? Because if you're going to start Jalen Hurts and prove that he sucks or prove that Doug Peterson sucks right now, why not on this part of the schedule? We have 4 games that we all know we're not going to win. We know it. We're probably not going to win Sunday or Monday. We're not going to win the next 3 games. Put him against fucking really hard competition. Like, let's get like really fucking like scummy with the play here now and really just almost kill a reputation of a kid. Like, bring this kid in against some real talent and be like, well, see, Jalen didn't even play great against the Cardinals, but Carson almost beat the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. So what are we doing here? Boom. Controversy solved. Everyone's going to talk about that. Like, at this point, it's just fans are bored with it. They almost like, I feel like fans just don't want to watch football anymore. And the only thing that you can really just pick apart is Carson because of these turnovers, because of this QBR. And everyone, like, yes, the coach is to blame, but everyone said here, everyone's always going to come for the quarterback. The Eagles fans are notorious for it. They talked mad shit about McNabb after he made, 5 or 4 NFC championship games? Like, and they demanded he got replaced by what's his fucking name after he got benched? Who was that guy? I don't even remember the dude's name. Exactly. These are just how Eagles fans
love
are.
Nick Foles, a journeyman.
He won the Super Bowl, man. Like, you're gonna expect it. You gotta just deal with it. Like, that's just how it's gonna be. Clearly, these fans don't have a say. They're not in management. Like, I just think you just need to. I think you just need to get a look at the kid. Also, the other reason is if you really want to make the argument and you think the coaching is the issue and you kind of do think Carson's the issue, you could say that they're not playing Jalen Hurts because they can't evaluate talent to save their life, which is honestly part of the discussion because they can't. They can't evaluate talent. They just started Mulata at left tackle after 2 weeks of watching Jason Peters get murdered. I could have made that call. I think a 6-year-old could have told you that guy should have started over Jason Peters. So that just adds to the thing. Like, yo, are they evaluating the talent right? Are they doing the right things? Like, does this dude even have a fucking clue? It's just a ton of narratives that you're putting in the hands of the fan base to believe that Carson's not good and to put Jalen Hurts in. Whether you think he's going to be bad or not, if you think he's going to be bad, you should want him to start just to see him fail and prove that he sucks and Doug sucks. Then you can be like, all right, it's not Carson. It's actually, honestly, probably like the best thing you could do if you really want to just get scummy with it and like take these guys out like in a really evil way.
I feel bad. All right, so loss. Birds are going to lose on Monday night.
They just held the Cardinals to 21 points, dude.
That's very true.
Like the Cardinals have played 8 games and they've only put up less than 30 in 3 of them. So clearly the Seahawks did something good, and they're way better talented. You know they're not gonna. You know the Eagles aren't gonna run the ball either, so it's gonna be a loss.